Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerf Herder Council.
There we go. New mouse, new problems. Me and technology. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I am your host, JT. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, both the Facebook and YouTube of the Nerf Herder Council, but also that of the Virtual Cantina Network. Guys, as usual, the views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Virtual Cantina Network. And if you're not into bad language, there might be some cursing on our program. So if you're offended by that sort of thing, you might want to bail. So, guys, we are live at those locations every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you are watching on our YouTube channel or the Virtual Cantina's YouTube channel, please don't forget to click that like button and click that subscribe button and smash the notification bell so that you are notified every time we go live. If you would like to get customizable Nerf Herder Council swag, go to shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. And if you would like to get Virtual Cantina Network swag, just go to tpublic.com/user/virtual-cantina. Without further ado, I will bring on my co-host, and he's kind of stuck with me because he's my brother, but we are best friends. He, of course, is AJ. What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It is going. I decided to go hatless tonight, and I am praying that I do not catch an extreme beating the way I did when I went hatless a few weeks ago on Talking into Infinity. So,
hey, that's all right, man. We're doing what we want with our hair these days. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm in that weird.
I'm clearly not exactly the height of fashion over here either. So,
mine is like in that in between stage. So it's like I just was like, screw it, man, screw it.
Yeah, it's all good.
So yeah, so already had like a kind of a flub here tonight. It's my first time using a brand new mouse, and I clicked the video on and off 3 times when we went live, and then of course I forgot to bring myself into the show. So, oh well, I'll get used to it. But it's kind of cool though. I got the red, so there we go. I had to get the red to match, a lot of the Van Halen crap down here in my man cave. So, pretty cool.
Man, I'm jealous. I am so jealous. Like, I actually just replaced my mouse too, but they don't make any fun colors, so I just have black.
Yeah, mine came in a myriad of options, so I was like, hell yeah, let's do that. So I thought it was kind of fun. It was kind of a bummer. It was like it was weird. Like, the mouse that I had was like the last thing I had from Dad. Like, he had bought me a laptop and a mouse and stuff a couple years ago, and I was trying to do the self-employment thing, and all the stuff that he had bought me had died except for the mouse. And I came downstairs the other day to pay some bills, and it was I turned it over to turn it on, and there's battery acid all crusted everywhere. I was like, well, I believe that thing's done. So, like, there goes the last bastion of all the nice crap that Dad bought me. But at least it lasted, like, oh my God, what was it, like 8 years or something like that, something crazy. So it was just a nice, cheap little mouse, but it worked great and lasted forever. So there you go.
All right.
Beautiful.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned things that were nice and no longer are, and it's time to move on to new things, because tonight's show is all about all the new things that are coming up in Star Wars. And one of the new things that I tried earlier this week, in case people didn't see it, was a little YouTube short. We'll get better at those. I know that was really super awkward, but hey, the sad part is it got way more views than any of our shows do. So I guess that's our new format. We'll get 15 seconds of the Nerf Herder Council whenever we turn the cameras on ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I was kind of shocked. It had like 435 views. I was like, hell yeah, dude. All right. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was running a mile a minute with getting everything in, but they only give you 15 seconds, so you got to be very, very quick with what you got to say.
Here's our short. Check out our show. We have things to say. Okay, bye.
Right.
Yeah, no, we've got a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of stuff. You had basically sent a text message a couple weeks ago with a bunch of interesting topics, but none of them were really stuff that we could make a whole episode about. Look at this guy. Greg, Get the hell out of here. Greg Ware, good to see you, man. It says, I like Star Wars as much as I like LeBron James. Well, you have bad taste. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player in history. You've got a grudge. You are the single most negative sports person in the world. So I have to take that with a grain of salt, man. And besides, anybody who doesn't like Star Wars is dumb. It's just to paraphrase Spaceballs. So there you go. Oh my gosh. Chastity Crawley, great to see you again. She says, I was nice during talking into infinity. I'll be nice again. Can't say much anyway since I'm baking today. Yeah, Chastity opened her own bakery, so we get to see, I get a bunch of private messages of all this delicious stuff that she's making, and it's all the way in Utah. So I can't enjoy it.
I hope it travels well.
I was going to say, until she
We
starts
demand bakery. Yeah.
until she starts shipping. So there you go.
Really, like, Chastity, come on. You were talking about these cinnamon rolls last time. In fact, 2 shows in a row, you were talking about these cinnamon rolls. I want cinnamon rolls now. I need them.
Right. There's our good buddy, Cale McLeish. He says, I will not, meaning he will not be nice. That's all right. If we're, why do I have a feeling we're talking about my hair? Is this going to be like me taking a beating again? No, we've got some really cool stuff to cover here, man. You had a lot of interesting ideas. And I'm going to do a tease. We don't usually do a tease, but you found an article that we are absolutely going to let's just phrase it generously and say decimate. It is an article about why the Darth Maul Obi Wan Kenobi duel from Rebels is awesome. And yeah, I'll say this now and then we'll get to it later. I timed it today. From the time that Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber to the time their lightsabers first clash is 38 seconds. From the time their lightsabers clash to the time when Maul dies, it is less than 3 seconds. It's like 2.2 seconds or something. So we'll just give that little bit of little nugget there, and let's just say we'll be discussing that later. So and I'll say it now and I'll say it again later. The views of the Nerf Herder Council don't necessarily reflect those of the Virtual Cantina Network. That's going to be important later. So
yeah,
let's jump in. And the first thing that you had on your list was the Outlaws trailer.
Yes. So for those of you who aren't in the know, Star Wars Outlaws is the next game releasing for the franchise here. It is all based between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and it's all based in the underworld. So you take on the role of an outlaw, imagine that, who's trying to find her way through the galaxy, and it has a lot to do with the comic books that have been coming out with the Crimson Empire, I think they called it, Crimson Reign.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Kira's in it and all that other stuff. But so it's all about the
Crimson
crime
Dawn.
syndicates.
Crimson Dawn, dude.
No, there was a subtitle to like the series of comic books or something.
Okay. Sorry.
But yeah, so yeah, it does center around Crimson Dawn and a bunch of other crime families. 5 of them actually. So it looks really cool. Have you seen the trailer?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so what were your initial thoughts on it? I mean, you're a big Star Wars video game guy, especially with the Jedi series.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
I thought it was badass. It basically looked like, I'm hoping the controls are the same, because I thought the controls were really good for Fallen Order and Survivor. And it basically looked like that, but if you're kind of like nefarious. You had the cute little sidekick again. So of course, already in the trailer, I was worried about, well, how are they going to get this little? At least BD-8 was a droid, so you could see where, he could, okay, well, he can fly or he could do this, but a little animal who's like a little dog, like a little chihuahua or something, like,
yeah,
some of the stuff going on there. I'm like, how is the little critter going to survive? So it was already tugging on me that way. But yeah, it looked awesome. And I will say this. Did you notice Jabba the Hutt was in there? We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear the voice for a second?
Sounded pretty good.
They nailed it. What the hell? How can a video game get it right, but they can't get Jabba right anywhere else after Return of the Jedi? What is that?
Hey, I don't know, dude. Maybe
sorry.
it's AI. Maybe it's AI cloning. Maybe they finally figured it out.
Right. Thank you, Kale. I meant BD1. Sorry about that. I did mix my droids. I'm sorry. Yeah, dude, that is as good an explanation as any. But I heard it. I was like, okay, well, now that sounds like Jabba.
Mhm. I
So
was so happy because when I saw him on screen, I was just waiting for some horrible, horrible voice acting.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
no, that was cool. That was cool. What I really love is Nyx is the name of the little, I don't know what animal that is, but I love how like part of the gameplay mechanic is you send Nyx to go mess with shit. It's
right.
like you hide behind a crate and then you send your little, companion out there to like mess with the computer terminal or like distract the stormtroopers or something. That's so cool.
See, that's awesome because that's kind of like, it's something we've never gotten to do before. Like you weren't able to go play as BD1. You weren't able you weren't, if you're Luke Skywalker, you haven't been able to go be R2. You're the hero guy and you've got a little cool sidekick, and BD1 does some stuff here and there, everything, but like I don't think it's going to be to I think this with Nyx. Thank you for the name. I'm terrible at figuring out these names. I'm just like the cute little critter thing. It's definitely not going to be. I think this is going to be to a different level. It seems like because you're kind of a slime ball, like you're gonna need Nyx to go do all this cool stuff, espionage type things. So I think that's pretty badass.
Yeah, the other part that has me excited is this idea that you've got some agency over your choices in the game. So you can choose to make alliances with these characters versus these characters, and who you're nice to and not nice to affects like how the gameplay turns out. I love that aspect because especially with all the different crime families, you can have a whole bunch of different dynamics going back and forth. So this game is probably going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I really really enjoy games like that. There was one a couple years ago that I thought was just absolutely criminally underrated called Detroit Become Human. And I mean, it's an action game, but it's almost like a choose your own adventure. And you can go through, and there's like to the point where there's like a flow chart as you go through the game. And also you went up here and you did this instead. Like it like branches and branches and branches. It's where you can, I mean, everything you do determines what happens next and later. And so you can go be a slime ball or you can be honorable and you can mix and match. And it's really really cool. So I hope they do that in the Star Wars universe. I hope that that's kind of a strong element in this as it is in Detroit Become Human, because that was awesome.
So was that game any good? Because yeah, I remember all the hype around that one, but then I completely forgot to check back on that after it came out.
Loved it. And it's also there are action parts, but it's almost like kind of like it's half action half cutscene. So it's kind of cool because if you're not looking for something that's just blasting you in the face with action like the whole time, and you want kind of a mellower experience and something a little more story driven, it did that, which I loved it. I've revisited it twice. Torres, good to see you, man. He says the voice was on point. Yeah, the Jabba's voice was on point, man. Kale wants to know, did my Connor become deviant? Connor is the one of the main. So it's basically your androids. You play a couple different androids in Detroit Become Human, and so it's like they basically are like becoming, kind of self-aware, I guess. And so they have to make decisions, and it's like, are we human? Are we not? So Connor's one of them. He says, did your Connor become deviant? Mine did not. Kale, whenever I play stuff like that, if I like I'm playing the Hogwarts Legacy game, and I tend to make like the nice guy decision first, and then I'll go through it a second time and I'll just be like a total bastard just to see what happens. It's kind of like,
I would go for that straight away.
Yeah,
straight away. That'd be my first instinct.
I mean, it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I went through and I did it normally, and I got most of the way through, and then it's those games are too damn long. But then I went back through and I decided to do all the heinous shit. But especially like I got fat. Like you can eat a shitload of cheeseburgers and your dude gets all fat. Like you work out in the game and get all muscular, but I purposely got fat. So, and it affects how people talk to you. Like you'll be walking down the street and people's like, "Oh, get out of here, you fat fuck!" Like it's awesome. So that was fun. But
so you just made it like real life.
I made it exactly like real life. Ignoring the working out, eating a lot of cheeseburgers. So Kale says, I don't know, this does seem cool, but I think I'm going to wait till post-launch to really invest, unfortunately. CKL, I can't do that. I have to have it right away because a couple of my buddies just like, especially my buddy Nick, he buys it and he's a musician by trade. So he's like up until like 5 a.m. every morning and, gets up at like noon or 1. And like, he devours these games in like a week. And so if I don't jump on it, then I'm way behind and I get spoiled and all that kind of stuff. So,
Well, at least this is a single player story. It's not like Battlefront where, if you don't jump on it in that first week, you're so hopelessly behind on skill trees and power-ups and just general skill that it's like, don't even bother playing because you're just going to get pwned.
Yeah. No, I agree. And honestly, that's a little bit of my complaint, somewhat, is that the skill tree thing is kind of difficult because it starts becoming difficult to accumulate points. So you kind of have to play the game multiple times. And I tend to lose interest after I've already beaten it because I'm like, I've already done this crap. Like I'm on to something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so for me, it's a little difficult to keep my attention once I've beaten the game. So to go back and try and become like beastly strong is, not something I generally do. But
well, at least this one with the branching paths and the dialogue trees and stuff, at least you've got like different outcomes that can happen. So that's cool. I think that gives it some good replay value.
Yeah, I think so. And like I'm playing RoboCop right now too, and that game kind of has that too. Like you can, there's different ways you can go. Like if you arrest somebody, you can kind of like be a prick, or you can, and it'll say like, you upheld the law, and if you give another answer like, you did something or other, like it's kind of cool, like based on how you respond to criminals. It's pretty awesome. So I like that. I think it's cool, man. So a question for you on that. I mean, you don't have a game system now. Like, do you ever like, don't these Star Wars games kind of like get you kind of into like, hey, I kind of want to get like a PS5, or is it just like, yeah, it's kind of cool, I'll just watch JT play or something?
Yeah, I kind of live vicariously through other people because the only reason I even had a recent generation console that wasn't a Nintendo was for Star Wars games. Like when Battlefront came out, that's when I finally got my PS4, that kind of thing. And I still don't, at least I don't make the time to play video games. So that was a colossally wasted purchase the last time. So I've kind of learned my lesson. Like, it's as much as I would like to play, I never make the time for it, and I just suck at video games anymore. So, you know what? I'll play it when I come over to your house. That's about it.
Right.
Or yeah, I'll watch Let's Plays or something. I'll tune into Twitch for that stuff.
That's not a bad idea. I just can't not have it. It's like, it looks so badass, and it's like you're living in the Star Wars universe. And I mean, they've done such an excellent job with the recent games that it's, I don't want to not have it. Because I know I'm going to see cool videos on YouTube and stuff and just be like, like, God damn it. Like, I really want to play that. So, I have to.
The last, quote, new Star Wars game that I played was the one that Kale's talking about here.
Oh, sorry.
Saying like, speaking of, we still got to get a game of classic Battlefront in. Yeah, because I got that classic Battlefront collection on Switch. Which I think that rules it out right there because it's not cross-platform compatible, unfortunately. So if you want to do online play, you've got to have the same system as whoever you're playing against. But
Kale and I do.
But I'll tell you what. Language warning. Fuck the Gungans. Okay?
Don't like them, do you?
First battle, the fields of Naboo, and God damn it, I just kept getting sniped by these stupid fucking Gungans. Like, that game came out, like, when was that? That's like 15 years old now or something.
Older,
like,
yeah.
It's ridiculous. And I didn't even see who the hell was killing me. It was ridiculous. And I'm not talking about online play. This is just the computer whooping my ass. And do you remember that map? Because it is just an open field. Yeah. There's like no cover. You pretty much just run in a straight line at the enemy and hope to God that they don't snipe you. But of course, the Gungans have the damn shields, so they can toss Boombas at you all day long from behind their shield. You can't do a damn thing to them until you just plow through their shield and hope to God you make it far enough. Otherwise, you're respawning 20 seconds back as they're taking all your command points.
I just think it's kind of that thing that we're awful at it too, because I went through I Miranda, dodge and weave. It's not that simple with the damn Boombas.
To quote Eric Cartman, "I would if I could, you son of a bitch."
Nice. So Kale says he can do the Switch version with you. So there you go.
Nice. There we go.
You can jump online with Kale there. Yeah, I think it's a matter of our ability, because I did the tutorial and they're like, okay, now go be the engineer and fix the energy droids, and I was like, oh shit, I can do that. I can load up my weaponry, because I'm you know me, I'm a run and gun.
Yeah.
Just like hold the button down, like spray and pray. Like, oh man, this game's too hard. Yeah, because you have no strategy, dickhead.
Yeah, those are what I call Derek goals.
Exactly. Our older brother loves doing that crap, and we're like, I just want to blow shit up.
Yeah, he's the achievement completionist right there. He's in it for the 100% for sure.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm like you, JT. I'm gonna take the grunt class every time and just charge and shoot and hope that my KD ratio is in the positive.
Yep. Kale's right. He says, AJ, get into an AAT, then you just go through and mess them up.
True. The problem is, by the time I get to one of those, it's so lopsided that it's just me versus the entire Gungan army.
Right. Doesn't that piss you off? You're like, how is there only 4 of my guys left? He's got like 95.
Right. It's ridiculous.
All right. So moving on, we also have the Acolyte trailer, and Acolyte's coming out later this year. So they could have just apparently called this show Shitload of Lightsabers, which is awesome. So I'm excited for it. It's interesting because this is obviously more of the High Republic era, and I have not gotten into that yet. I tried listening to the first book, and it didn't necessarily grab me. I mean, my feelings about Geode, which I think you kind of echo, are well spoken for here on the show. But yeah, so I mean, it's a time period that I haven't really gotten into yet. So I'm interested to see what they do. It looked cool as hell to me. So and I like I like the Force, the aspect of things. I like the Jedi and the Force and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely something different, which is cool. I like that they're branching out. But I swear, man, if I see a live action Geode, I already got freaking live World Between Worlds and live action Purgle. If I get live Geode, oh my God.
Well, that's the beauty of Geode, though, man. Every rock you see might be Geode.
That's awful. Like seriously, like you're gonna see that crap on screen, and you mean to tell me that people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's awesome"? No.
Yeah.
Eventually, at some point, someone has to come to their senses and go, "It's a fucking rock. Stop it."
Dude, we're fans of wrestling. We were watching guys named Doink the Clown and the Repo Man.
A
and
clown
Erwin
can
R. Shyster.
Erwin R. Shyster, a lawyer, can move around. A freaking repo guy can move around. A rock fucking sits there. It's not sentient. There is nothing to compare to.
As far as we know.
What is the door on their goddamn starship going to be sentient next? Like it's going to be like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it sighs nicely when it opens or some shit. Like
Sirius Cybernetics Corporation in Star Wars. That's what we need.
Exactly. Let's do a mashup. Hitchhiker's Guide with Star Wars. Oh my God! Every time they go into Lightspeed, they have to have a towel and some peanuts. Let's do that. Boy, is there
okay. Okay, so again, setting the stage on the Acolytes. This is about 100 years before Phantom Menace. So this is at the very end of the High Republic. It's kind of basically the transition out of the High Republic and into the prequel era kind of stuff. The one thing that gives me pause is that we all know the Kurosawa influences that George Lucas had with the original movie.
Yeah.
And but it was covered up enough. It wasn't like overt to where it was just like, wow, that looks Japanese. But they're getting closer and closer to that, right? Where like it's all like samurai and feudal Japanese sort of stuff. We saw it in Star Wars Visions, which I know was deliberately anime, but actual Star Wars now is getting closer and closer to just being Japan in space. And I hope it doesn't get too overt. Like back
I
in
agree.
Rebels when there was that training dojo in the Jedi Temple that when they all had that like vision quest or whatever, and Kanan was talking to the former embodiment of the Inquisitor, and it was just a dojo.
Yeah.
It was literally just a dojo. Like they didn't hide the architecture or anything. And I was like, oh God, this is pretty obvious. And it looks like a lot of that is kind of coming into live action now with this period in the timeline. I hope they can cover it up a little bit better, or the storytelling is good enough that I don't see it quite so much, you know?
I agree 100%. I mean,
I am interested to see Carrie Ann Moss's character and see what she does, because she looks like a total badass.
yeah, totally agree.
I mean, Trinity in Star Wars, how can you go wrong, right?
I was thinking the same thing when I saw her. I was like, hell yeah, man. Trinity in Star Wars.
Now, the question is, we see that red lightsaber at the end of the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we're dealing with an actual Sith?
I
mean, they say right in the Phantom Menace that the Sith have been extinct for a millennia. So,
well, so they think.
Right. So, if it is a Sith, they've got to explain like how the Council in Episode 1 didn't know that this happened.
Well, I think the movies themselves explained it when they're like, "Oh, our ability to use the Force is diminished, whatever," and like the arrogance blinded them to what the hell was going on with, Sidious and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about that. I think it could be a Sith. I think it'd be kind of awesome. I mean, there's a bunch of popular ones that have not been brought into canon yet. They're still like legends. Like Darth Revan and Nihilus and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you had a live action, Revan, I don't know what time period he was. He was
long time ago. He was. Okay. I think he's in the Old Republic MMO RPG or something. Or no, he's in Knights of the Old Republic, and that's I think 25,000 years before the movies. Something crazy like that.
Well, they can always bring him back somehow. Like have this guy be like, kind of like he's like that's his hero, so he's going to emulate him or something, But yeah, I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be. Although the show is called Acolyte, so maybe it's like the rise of someone in the dark side who becomes a Sith. Maybe that's the whole. Maybe that's the whole deal that they'll have going on. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, the other cool thing about this part of the timeline is, we've got a lot of members of that Jedi Council that have, non-human lifespans. So who knows who we might see from, the Episode 1 or the prequel Council. We're probably get some, I don't know, Oppo Rancisis. Like, let's get that guy in there. Let's get Yariel Poof.
Why do I always have to get the pizza?
Yeah, that's right.
So who is Oppo Rancisis? Which one is that?
He's the dude who looks like a reject from the original Star Trek series, where he's just like white and hairy and has like a tail coiled around him.
Oh yeah. See, now I want to look him up. Oh, here we go. Oppo Rancisis. Oh, that guy. Seriously? That's what you come up with. Oh, right. My God.
Yaddle. We're gonna get Yaddle kicking ass. That's what we're gonna get.
Hey, that'd be fine.
I mean, maybe Yoda's definitely around. We can get some Yoda action in there.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. Everybody wants to see that kind of stuff, so I think that'd be kind of awesome. Yeah, I'm with Discuss Metal Joe. Good to see you, by the way, man. He says # more Yaddle, please. I mean, come on, that would be amazing.
What if the series wraps and like the stinger at the end of the entire series is Yaddle showing up pregnant? Like,
Grogu
Grogu explained.
I keep wondering if they're going to do that. I keep wondering if that's going to be a thing eventually.
Well, the timeline doesn't work out because I was going to make a joke about her being on maternity leave, and that's why she didn't show up in the council beyond episode 1. But Grogu was already a thing, so maybe she was just, stay-at-home mom by that point. Who knows?
Yoda's all bummed out. Or a rubber I should have. No protection did I use. Now screwed am I.
Midichlorians, damn you.
Right. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I think this series definitely is cool because it opens up some new territory that we haven't seen. So I think that's pretty cool. So and with it, I like that it's at the end of the High Republic stuff, because again, I really didn't get into that. I mean, Kale said it above that, he said, this definitely has not grabbed me. It's like, so yeah, I think
I'd
if
like
it's
to know
closer,
more about that.
Yeah, I mean, something about the High Republic is just kind of, I don't know, and I don't know if it's just because like there's the only character we know is Yoda. Maybe that's it. I have a harder time getting into stuff in the books than I do seeing it on a screen, because it's just so out there. Like, and I know that makes me ridiculously close-minded, especially considering the fact that I love to read. But yeah, I don't know.
It's tough though. Like, I feel the same way where, Star Wars books don't grab me as much as anything that happens on a screen. And, you're loving the Harry Potter books. I don't like the movies.
Really?
And I think it's the same thing where it's just, whatever the original medium is, that's usually the best version.
Well, I mean, I'll give you that. We do got to get into some Harry Potter here sometime soon, because I'm rereading the books from the start. So I'm trying to collect them. I bought a nice version of the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone, if you are into the original. Zamian just joined. Zamian, good to see you, man. He says, just joined. Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to see you.
Yeah. So I think the other cool thing that really excites me about this is that it comes out in just over a month, June 4th. We got to wait until August for Outlaws, but June 4th we're going to get the start of the Acolyte, so we don't have that much longer to wait.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't paid attention to the dates really. I'm just like, I know it's coming soon, and it's fun for me to kind of be like, okay, this is coming. All of a sudden, you get that hit of, hey, it's coming out in 2 weeks. Like, oh shit! Like, I kind of like that. It's kind of fun. It's like a Christmas present in a way. So, Chastity Crawley, can I come? If you're talking about Harry Potter, yes, that is perfectly fine. I am not hugely versed in it yet. I've read the books once through. I've listened to the audiobooks once through, and I've watched the movies a couple times a piece, which for all I know is more than most people have done, because I'm a super nerd.
Cinnamon rolls are required for entry, though.
Oh, there you go. Cinnamon rolls.
Yep.
Get ready to ship.
I'm not letting it go.
All right. So I'm going to skip over something, unless you want to talk about it yourself, and I can put you in solo, because I couldn't give a flying fuck. Tales of the Empire. Don't give a shit.
Fine. I'll go solo on this one. I got no problem talking about Tales of the Empire.
Kale just brought it up. He says, we're getting on May 4th. We've got Tales of the Empire. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Tales of the Jedi, I did literally nothing for me. So now we're getting the same thing, just on the other side. Like, I don't care. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just
you're busy throwing shade at basically exactly what we're doing tonight, where it's a whole bunch of stuff that isn't big enough to support its own series. So they made a bunch of shorts and just kind of stitched it together. And it was like, here's a nice little treat for you. Like nice. With Tales of the Jedi, did we need Dooku's backstory and stories about how he, came to power and then had a falling out with the Jedi Order? No. Did we need to see Ahsoka as a baby? No. But was it fun to see? Was it cool to like get little bits of background information on these characters? Hell yeah, it was. It was cool. It was totally fine. So like now, a year later, they're following up with Tales of the Empire, and it's going to follow two of the characters from the dark side or the the bad guy roster. We're 11 years after the Clone Wars wrapped its original run, we get to find out what the hell happened to Barriss Offee. So that's awesome. That's a story thread that just got dropped when the series ended, and that character has never been revisited since. So we get to see stories about her and see her, being turned into an Inquisitor, which is awesome. That's going to connect to the Jedi games really good, and Rebels and everything else. And we get to follow Morgan Elsbeth too, and we get to find out her time on Dathomir as a Night Sister, and becoming a witch and doing all that stuff. I mean, what's not to like about that?
Everything, because I don't give a shit.
I'm a graphics nerd and the visuals anyway. So to see a revisited version of Dathomir and Grievous and all the prequel stuff with like the Bad Batch level of animation, I'm stoked just to see how this looks. They released, I don't know if you saw on YouTube today, they released a 44-second clip of the Night Sisters facing off with Grievous. So maybe it's a flashback to the episode where he decimates the planet in the Clone Wars. But oh my God, it looks so much better than the Clone Wars did. And, at the time, we thought the Clone Wars looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It was high budget animation for its time, but they're doing so much more now. Even down to the simple details, like Grievous didn't wear a cape in the animated series because cloth is a bitch to animate. He's got his cape back in this because that's the way he looks in the movie. They can do it now. So they did it, and it looks fantastic. Plus, the other thing that's nice about this is just like Tales of the Jedi, it all drops at once on May the 4th. So you get 6 little short stories all in one shot instead of like, it's not big enough to do a drip feed like, oh, tune in next week for the next 16-minute or 10-minute short. It's like, no, here's 6 stories. Watch them as you want. We don't care. It's all good.
Well, maybe I'll have to revisit it then. And check it out again and see if I can get. I just found myself like I didn't care. I think it kind of falls under that whole heading of how much backstory do I need, type of thing. Which you and I have talked about. Sometimes it gets a little much. So, but maybe I'm missing something. I'll give it a shot.
I will admit the Morgan Elsbeth stuff.
Another shot.
Yeah, the Morgan Elsbeth stuff. I don't really have any pull for that, but. Barriss picks up a storyline that was just abandoned when Clone Wars ended. So I think that's really cool. And there's a lot of connective tissue there. We both love the Jedi games, and to see more about the Inquisitorius and how, she came to be a member of that. I'm a lore junkie, so I love seeing all this little connective tissue. I think that's going to be great to see.
Okay. Well, yeah, dude, I'll check it out. And we'll see. Like I said, it did not grab me at all. But it's not like it's trying to dig into the Clone Wars again, where you've got 7 seasons of stuff, and all these damn episodes. It's like you said, like 10 minutes a pop. It's it's not really a big deal. So,
besides, of all the things that are happening on May the 4th, it's a little easier to take in Tales of the Empire than it is to take in, say, 9 Skywalker saga films.
Yeah, I still don't even know where that's playing around us.
Cinemark's got a page for it, but it doesn't have any showtimes listed yet. But it's literally a 24-hour marathon. It's just absurd. How many Star Wars movies in a row have you watched at your max?
I have done. I've done the prequels and original trilogy twice. And I can tell you,
but in one sitting.
Yeah.
Wait, so you ran through 6 movies twice. So you watched 12 movies in one sitting.
No. I did 6, but I did it 2 separate times.
Okay.
It's rough.
How was that? Because I've only ever done a trilogy, and even a trilogy was like, whew, okay. By the 3rd one, I was like, can this be over?
By the way, I have updated news on this marathon. The Skywalker Saga Marathon will only appear in 13 theaters nationwide.
Oh my God. Why even bother?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I will say that. Um, it, basically, what happened was the second time was much more of a slog because I knew what I was in for. But the first time, I basically got you get to about the middle of Empire and you start getting worn out, and you're kind of like, like so. Basically, Return of the Jedi is you're staggering through it just to say that you did it, and
Never something you want to say about Star Wars, right?
yeah. So it's yeah. Chastity Crawley, how many hours is that? I think isn't it like 22 hours or some shit like that?
Yeah, it's well over 20 because every single one of the 9 movies is 2 hours plus.
Yeah. So you're looking at 18 hours at least if there are 2 hours even.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the
And let's say
average
they're
is
2 hours and 10 minutes, then that's another 90 minutes on top of that. So you're already at 21 and a half hours.
yeah. The rumor I heard is that it starts at like 8 p.m. on May 3rd and it goes throughout the night. That's what I heard. So I mean, oh God.
I mean,
Yeah,
did they give you like a lightsaber themed catheter or something for this?
right. Chastity Crawley says, yeah, 13 hours and 26 minutes for just the first 6. Horsehead Jeff Caffrey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. He said, yeah, it's 24 hours in the theater with breaks.
Yeah, it's like when they did the marathons for like Infinity War and Endgame. They're like, come watch the entire saga. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna come watch the entire saga. I don't want to see that many movies in a row.
Yeah.
I think don't.
I would feel bad because I would be sleeping through part of it. And at that point, I'm like, well, I'd be like, well, what's the goddamn point?
Right. Yeah.
You know, it would also one of those things like you kind of have to get drunk for. Because at least for me, that's like an energy drink, and then you get all in your feels, and you start actually paying attention to it a little bit more than just, oh my God, I've got 5 movies to go, like so. Even if it was like everywhere, I don't know if that would be something that I would do.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I just couldn't. There's no way. No way.
I just wonder what it costs,
Now, if it was like spread out over 3 days, if it was like, okay, you come on, I don't know, the 3rd and you get the prequels, and the 4th you get the OT, and then you get the sequels on the 5th. All right,
Yeah.
cool. That's an event that's an attainable thing. That feels like a good, spread where you can actually have a life outside of it. But 9 movies in a row? Good God.
That's just a bitch. That is just a bitch.
And 13 screens nationwide, so clearly theaters know that there's not much interest in this either. I would still like to know what a ticket costs this marathon, though. For 9 movies.
I'm going to look that up. So here are the theaters. There's Arizona, California, Illinois, Kansas, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Wisconsin. Of all cities, dude, the one in Pennsylvania, King of Prussia. That's like minutes from our uncle.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
Holy shit. Wow. It says prices range from $45 to well over $100, depending on what other services, photo ops, costume parties, and food deals each theater is providing. How long does it take to watch all 9 Star Wars movies? Watching all 9 episodic Star Wars movies straight through would take you approximately 20 hours and 22 minutes, according to movie ticket site Fandango. Okay, that sounds about right. Let's see.
Man, people are doing some weird stuff. I'm on Eventbrite. I found an event that is a shorter Star Wars marathon on May the 4th. It's 4 movies. It's Rogue One and the sequel trilogy. That's a very weird collection of movies to do.
That's a hell of a gap in there.
Right? The one cool thing, though, is you can either buy a ticket for $10 to each individual movie or get the all-day pass for $20. That's attainable.
All right, I can see that. All right, so I am now going on the King of Prussia AMC website, let's see if I can find this thing and see what they are charging for the what they're charging for this thing. All right, Phantom Menace. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, here we go. All right, Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga May the 4th marathon. It is sold out, of course. I wonder if it says what the hell the price was. I don't think it does. Sorry, there are no show times at this theater at this time. Shut up. Damn it. Well, that sucks. I was really hoping to get a price on this. Yeah, that's kind of odd to do Rogue One and then the sequel trilogy. It's not like they tie together.
Yeah. I don't know what they're thinking there, but at least it's attainable.
look at Kale. I'd give him the $10 for Rogue One, and that'd be it.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, we've got Zamie in there in the chat, and I don't think he's ever seen a Star Wars film in theaters. And you've got to see Star Wars in a movie theater. I don't care how big and awesome your home theater setup is, your TV and your surround sound. In the theater, in a crowd, is the way these movies are meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I would love it if it was that sort of thing where you could just do, like, drop into whatever you wanted to watch. Like, so this is Megaplex Theaters is doing this apparently. So up on the screen here now for our audio viewers is the marathon schedule. So here's how it breaks down if anyone wants to see how this all works. They give you a whole 5-minute break between films. So
meals sold
and no in-seat delivery of food.
Wow.
That is ridiculous.
So basically apparently what they're doing is they're playing. Why would they do that? So they're doing the prequels and then a 25-minute break. Then they're doing the original trilogy, then a 25-minute break. Then they're doing 7 and 8 and then a 25-minute break and then episode 9. Gee, do you think that's a commentary on episode 9?
Yeah, wow, that's a weird split.
Wow. Jeff Caffrey, Horsehead, says it's actually $135 at El Capitan. You know what? I gotta say, to do it one time, I think I would, just for the experience of it, to say I did it. Yeah, he says they have all you can eat popcorn and a poster and other stuff with that price. Oh, it's our buddy Mark Thrasher. What's up, man? Good to see you. Fuck the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't resist.
And
only 13 theaters
signed. I don't care.
Yes. So yeah, 13 theaters, and I'm with you, dude. He says basically I'll watch the marathon at home. I mean, that might be a thing. Like that might be one of those, like, you've busted your ass all year. And look at Thrasher. Full 2-hour bar break during episode 8. Will you get off of that movie? That movie is awesome. Oh my God.
See, it's comments like that are the reason you didn't get an invitation to my birthday party, Thrasher.
See,
we're gonna have a hell of a time. And you won't be invited.
You won't be invited. Yeah, I think that's one of those things, like, you bust your ass all year and you're like, you need a break. Like my busy season at work is just hellish. And I take like the 2 weeks off at the end of the year for the holidays, right? Like, that might be something one of these times I just go, you know what? I'm going to start at 8 p.m. on a Friday night or whatever. It have to be a Saturday because that Friday I have the fan hangout for Talking Into Infinity, but it's an annual thing we do. And then just do it. Like, tell my wife, like, look, I'm going to be existing on energy drinks and 5-hour energy. I'm going to see if I could stay up. I'm just going to have Star Wars on the damn screen for 24 hours.
Just like that birthday where our cousin Joe did the world tour of beers at Winking Lizard. It's 100 beers, and he just said, like, he invited everybody and said, I'm posting up from open to close, and anybody who can come in and check some of these off with me, let's get this done in a day.
Did he succeed?
He did. He had enough people show up that drank enough beers alongside him that collectively everybody drank 100 beers.
Again, one of those things that I can't take part in because of my damn band schedule. Oh God.
But I feel like this Skywalker Saga marathon is kind of the same thing. Like, drop in when you want and drop out when you can't stand it anymore. Like, just
But then me and you like,
keep it going, you know?
but me and you would host, but then people would jump in and they catch one of us like this, like,
Right, exactly.
you know what? At some point, both of us are going to be passed out, so people are going to be having their own show. Like that would
Yeah.
be, oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Discuss Metal Joe chiming in with the idea of a group watch on May the 4th. Joe, I would love to, but I at least am going to be out of town and unavailable. So
I am too.
That's the pisser of all this is, you know, it happens to fall on a Saturday, and I already had plans to go out of town like long time ago. Before the event date itself that I'm going to was actually finalized. So yeah,
I have to play a shitty casino gig. And
is that the one where security's all tight and you can't sneak in booze?
Oh no, no. We it's Brother Believe Me. We where there's a will, there's a way with Brother Believe Me. Trust me on that. Yeah, that's really the only highlight is that we get, it's in Indiana. It's like a 3.5-hour drive, but we get hotel rooms. And so we bring a bunch of bottles of shit. So when we take our stuff up to the room, we start tying one on. Then we go do our sound check and everything and get ready to roll. Then in a set break, we run to the hotel room and drink. And then second set break, run to the hotel room and drink. And then
shirt change.
Oh yeah, shirt. There's a lot of laundry. There's a lot of laundry at that show. And that's really what it's. I mean, it doesn't pay well. It is an absolute bitch to get in and out of, because they open every single book bag, every single drum case, every single guitar case on the way in and the way out. So I told the guys last week, I'm like, I'm putting a couple bags of powdered sugar in mine, but I'm also coming in with like a puff on my mustache underneath my nose. Like, my shit's clean, man. And be like, all twitchy. So, oh my God. But yeah, I did tell the guys that I'm writing an intro. I said, you just press play. And of course it's going to be a collection of Star Wars shit. I'm like, if I can't watch Star Wars and hang out with my Star Wars buddies on Star Wars Day, the BBM intro will be Star Wars music.
Oh my God. By the way, our show's getting hijacked in the chat. I don't know if you're watching this, but
no, that's fine.
Apparently Joe and Kale are planning to take over our channel on May the 4th because we won't be using it.
Go for it, man. I don't care. I do not give a shit. People be like, what the hell is this? The virtual Cantina Network, they'll be like, what did you guys let them do?
Right.
He's got the password. What do you want? Like, so this is pretty cool. I was just about to bring that one up. Yeah. Thrasher says, I'm pumped to take my son to see The Phantom Menace. He was born in 2002, so he can't wait to see it. Thrasher, you of all people know that it is just a different experience to see a Star Wars movie on the big screen. I mean, that's how they were meant to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, you have to be in there. You've got to have your popcorn. It's got to be, in your face like that. It's just, there's nothing like it.
I am so stoked because originally it seemed like they were only going to have that for one day on the 3rd, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that sucks. But they're running it for at least a week. I don't know what the show times are beyond that, but yeah. So at least if you can't get to it on May the 3rd, we can, and we will.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked because I have a chance to go see this, with Zamian there in the chat actually. So
yep.
That's going to be cool. We did that with Force Awakens when that came out. If you remember, we each, me, you, and Jason all showed up each with like a younger person, in our custody, and
yep.
we got to like share that with everyone. So it's a cool experience. It's always cool to be able to share that with somebody like that.
And I'm seeing Phantom Menace twice on May 3rd. I'm going with you at noon, and then I'm taking Steph at 6:30. So I'll be seeing it double, which is kind of cool. That's just one of those. It's a movie that I appreciate more and more as I watch it, and I always thought that it was underrated, and the soft spot in my heart for it grows and grows as the years go by. And then with me and you, dude, it's like, I mean, we can't not go see it in the theater together. It's like, that's where it all started for us. So it's like, we had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to do this. So, all right. Well, we've hit the Phantom Menace. We've hit the movie marathon. We've hit Outlaws. We've hit the Acolyte, Tales of the Empire. You have Where's Skeleton Crew? I don't care. I'm not thinking about that yet, so I have no thoughts on that because we really got to get to what I teased at the beginning. But real quick, Bad Batch finale predictions. I have a prediction, and I've thought long and hard about this. So here's what's going to happen. So we're going to get we have two episodes left.
One.
This week is the last one?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Episode 14 came out today. Episode 15 next week is the last one.
I forgot today was an episode. Okay, so we got one more. I haven't watched today's episode. So I'm sure it was shut the fuck up. If that happens,
don't worry.
If that happens, I'm not watching the finale.
Yeah, they kill the dog. Sure, that's the Star Wars thing.
Hey, look, this season's been amazing because it's so damn dark. But I'm telling you, it's exactly what's going to happen. So it's been action-packed. It's been dark. It's been phenomenal. Star Wars is going to have the biggest WTF ending in the history of the franchise. And the Bad Batch is going to be on Tantus. They're going to run into that room where all the kids are. They're going to look around. The kids are going to be gone, and they go, wait a minute. Where's all the kids? And Hunter's going to be like, I don't like this. And then a bunch of stormtroopers and Imperials are going to come in and shoot him dead. And that's how the whole thing ends. They finally get to the end of the quest and just die. And you have no idea where the kids are. And the entire Star Wars audience goes, and they have a collective aneurysm. I think it's got legs. I think it's got legs. I'm just going to put that out there.
I think that episode title is called Star Wars Lights the Internet on Fire.
Yes.
Blaze of Glory. That's the title.
or the Bad Batch comes in, like it looks like they're rescuing the kids, but instead they just gun them all down, and they turn around, and they just turn around, look in the camera, and go, "Good soldiers follow orders." And the whole thing was just about killing kids. Oh my god! No,
having in worst D&D campaign ever.
Nice. Thrasher, tell Nadia we said what's up. Good to see you, Nadia.
Nice, good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have a prediction. I don't know how they're going to get out of it without losing somebody or everybody, or I still wonder if Tick is not going to come back and be like the star. Kind of like rescue him at the last second. I don't know. But it just seems like there's so much more to tell, and they don't have a lot of time to do it, which kind of sucks. So I'm interested to see how they do it. Do you have a prediction?
See, that's you just tapped into my concern. Totally spoiler free for today, by the way. But like you said, they're running out of time to finish the story and wrap it up, and it doesn't feel like they're there yet. Like I understand that the Clone Wars was a longer running show, and when they did the season 7 revival on Disney Plus, it was an event, but they finished it with like a 4-episode. It could be in theaters on its own. Like, it was a big friggin' deal to do those last 4 episodes as this finale. And it just feels like they're just running through a regular season of Bad Batch here. This doesn't feel like it's all building to some big culminating event. It's just like, yeah, it's the Batch still doing stuff. They're mucking around with Mount Tantus again. Okay. So I hope it's like a double length episode or something next week, because it still doesn't feel like they're building to a series finale here. And they were told before they made season 3 that this was the last season. I don't know if they wrote it that way and told Disney, or Disney said, you're only getting 3 seasons, so figure it out. But either way, I'm with you. It doesn't feel like they're building towards a series finale here.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that I think that these characters are going to be elsewhere. And this is kind of like the, hey, here's how this all started out thing. There's too much crap about cloning in here You know, Omega is way too important to just kind of have her in the story and then fart out. Like, I think the Bad Batch has become more than popular enough to show up in other properties. So yeah, I would not be surprised if this is kind of like I can't really say an origin story, but maybe if they show up elsewhere, like in live action or something, like, you know, I mean, that's kind of what I think it is. I think it's a jumping off point for some other things that they're going to do. At least with these characters. So
Yeah, I am intrigued because you know every show always ends with something that is a big revelation for the franchise. Like it hints towards something or it connects a dot that you didn't see coming, something like that. And I don't know how any of that works with this show. Like where does this show leave off that's going to have a lasting impact that makes the entire series a necessary chapter in the larger Star Wars universe, you know?
yeah. Chastity Crawley. Carbonite, it fixes everything. Very true.
Like, okay, so let's say let's say their mission to Tantus is successful and they, you know, get all the clones out. All right, so what? Like, that's not really a big enough deal to be like, and that's our show, folks. Aren't you glad you were along for that ride? And, you know, conversely, if they don't get out, if they all die, then it's an ultimately pointless series right there. So that wouldn't work. I don't know. It feels like they're kind of writing themselves into a corner, but they've proven time and time again that they've got a plan and they can figure out how to make a satisfying conclusion. So I have faith, but boy, it's not looking good right now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how they do it. I just think they're setting some stuff up. So I think this is a jumping off point. So all right. Well, I teased in the beginning of the show. Let's say it again. The views of the Nerf Herder Council do not necessarily reflect those of the Virtual Cantina Network. And there will be some cursing on this show, and it's about to come up. And Kale McLeish, I love you, but you are a complete and total nitwit, and you are exceptionally wrong, and just don't even bother with your trying to explain why this is brilliant. AJ found an article on Facebook it's about why the Obi Wan Darth Maul duel in Rebels was brilliant. It is not. It's a fucking piece of shit. No one will ever
solo for this.
No, we'll talk about it. I will debate this with anyone at any time. And again, I wanted to time this because we've joked on the show. Oh, it takes like 3 seconds. No, it actually takes less than 3. It's like 2.2 seconds. Okay, a lightsaber duel is not awesome when it lasts 2.2 goddamn seconds. Okay, it isn't. It is not. When you're
for those who want to follow along, by the way, I just put the Facebook post in the chat, so it's showing up on all your platforms.
And I'm going to read it, and I'm going to read quickly. But you know, when Maul and Obi-Wan run into each other, they start yakking at each other. You know, okay, fine, there's dialogue. Well, when Obi-Wan finally ignites his lightsaber, between the time he ignites his lightsaber and they first clash lightsabers is 38 seconds, like 38.1 or something like that. By the time Darth Maul is dead, it's another like 2.2 seconds or 2.4 seconds. So let me reiterate that. When we talk about the greatest lightsaber duels in Star Wars, we talk about Luke and Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi. We talk about Obi-Wan and Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. These big cinematic grand battles. And you mean to tell me that some fucking little popcorn fart of 2.2 I made myself laugh.
Keep going.
Some little 2.2 second like blip on the radar is supposed to be as good as that. It is shit. It is terrible. It is the worst payoff you can have. And I'm not listening to this, oh, but it's the psychology behind it. I don't give a shit. You don't build up something like that and have him swipe one time and he's dead. You don't do that. It sucks. It sucks. It fucking sucks. It's terrible. 2.2 seconds, man. What the hell is that? No,
Utter crap, I think, is what we're talking about, right?
it's trash.
I'm with you, man. With all the times that they squared off in Clone Wars and obviously in Phantom Menace and everything, this whole thing of like, well, the story is told before the sabers actually clash. No, the story is the sabers clashing.
Thank you.
We need to see that, and we need to see an epic fight.
Thank you.
At least, I don't know, 2 or 3 lightsaber slashes, not 1.
Yeah. Okay, Skip Ruckle, he says, good to see you, by the way, buddy. He says, like when Indy kills the swordsman with a pistol. No, but that's funny. That's meant to be a comedic moment.
Right. Now,
That's
if that was like Belloc, then that's a different story.
Yeah, what would you think if you get through all of Raiders and then Indiana Jones just like, he finally confronts Belloc one-on-one and like just shoots him in the head in like a second and a half. You're going to go, I waited the whole goddamn movie for that? Like, no. No, and stop with this. No, Kale, I don't care what he's thinking. It doesn't matter. Kale says, Maul's thinking, I'm going to win because I'm still young and fueled by hate. Obi-Wan's like, yep, only been waiting for this for 25 years. Swish, swish, death. It's stupid. It's put your psychology elsewhere, Star Wars. Don't be giving me psychology when you built up this, like, I mean, think about it. I mean, we're going to date ourselves with this reference. But it would be like if WrestleMania 3 was a squash match. You build up Hogan and Andre for a fucking year in front of 93,000 people, and you get out there and Hulk Hogan hulks up, drops the leg, 17 seconds, it's over. You're going,
yeah.
What the hell was that? Oh, it's the psychology of showing he's passing the baton to Andre's passing the baton to Hulk. No. I want a big ass fight. It's stupid. I mean, and let's read this, man. Like, okay, everyone's saying, oh, samurai battles don't last long. Okay, well, I don't give a shit. It's fucking stupid. And by the way, I'm not ripping people for being stupid for enjoying this, guys in the chat. I want to make that clear. It's just me personally. This gets me so fired up because I hate it. I think it is the dumbest goddamn thing. It is so anti-Star Wars. Kale McLeish, it's not about what you want. Yes, it is about what I want. That's exactly what it is. It's what I want, damn it. Come on, man. I've spent all
It's
this
our
money.
show. It's what we want.
Exactly. Well, yeah, technically. All right, let's read a little bit of this article. Okay. And I will read fast, so I'm going to speed read here. Maul died quickly, not easily. I believe the word you're looking for is shittily, sir. Many real-world duels between master swordsmen only last a few moments or a couple of strikes, with lots of time spent in the tension and the build-up as they try and anticipate what their opponent will do. The duel between Maul and Obi Wan is meant to mimic those seen in classic samurai films like Harakiri. I don't care. I don't want to see it. I don't give a shit about classic samurai battles. I want to see Maul and Obi Wan have a kick-ass lightsaber battle. Not one swish and he's dead. It's crap. Why build up Darth Maul as this badass if he's going to lose with one swish? Why?
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Is okay. So it mirrors. I think they just got too clever. They had an idea and they were so in their own heads about it that they didn't really take into account that is not a satisfying conclusion.
No, it isn't.
It really, and we talked about this when it happened. I mean, one of the nice things about being on the show for so damn long is that we experienced this in real time.
Yeah.
And it was almost like they were just like running through Rebels, and then someone like reminded them that Darth Maul was still running around the galaxy alive. And they're like, oh shit, we got to do something about that. So they just like got rid of him.
Yeah. I mean, it was dumb. It, like you used the perfect terminology. It wasn't a satisfying ending. It wasn't at all.
Right.
I mean, how can anybody watch that when you're watching it in real time and you're like, here it comes, dead. Oh, that's amazing. No, you were waiting the whole time for the next great lightsaber battle. You got a swing. Like, seriously? And then Obi-Wan's like cradling, don't even get me started about that. He's like cradling him like a baby and they're just having a conversation. Yeah, because that's what Maul would do. And all his anger, like he's going to die. He's just going to sit there and bullshit with the guy. Hey, let's grab a coffee while I'm croaking. Shut up. Jesus. It's terrible. It's terrible. Let's see. Okay. Much of the confrontation between Maul and Kenobi plays out in the shifts of their stances as they try and read one another. It's here that Obi-Wan shows his growth over Maul. He's had over a decade and a half to reflect on his shortcomings and grow beyond them, while Maul remains set in his ways, ever chasing his selfish desires. After a tense verbal exchange, Maul ignites his lightsaber in anger. Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber and enters his classic defensive pose. Maul then ignites his second blade and spins his saber before entering his own stance. They both pause, and Maul changes to a two-handed grip. Obi-Wan moves to adjust, and it is here that Maul has lost. Maul lost when they wrote the damn scene.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Sam Witwer deserved better, damn it.
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
He
it's
did.
it's and AJ, you and I have talked about this offline. So let's just say this. If you have to explain this thing this goddamn much, it isn't good. It is not good.
Yeah, you lost the audience on this one.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, seriously. What is the argument with the other awesome lightsaber duels in Star Wars? Oh, they're fucking great. They're kicking each other's ass. There's all this cool, yeah. There's no explanation. It's just, man, it's visceral. It hits you. It's all there. You don't have to be like, well, Luke did a backflip off of the broken rampway because in, this 1962 Kung Fu movie, he, this guy, did a flip like that and it's mimicking. No, because it's cool and it's fun. And it's what you expect when you get two badasses together to fight. I understand the whole thing of, well, Obi-Wan's smarter and older and Maul's just staying in his hate. So what? He can't even defend himself at all? He can't last for more than 2.4 seconds? Guys, 2.4 seconds. 2.4 seconds. Go watch it and look how fast it is between when the first time, I mean, dude, 2.4 seconds. That's nothing.
I mean, I'm running out of things to say because it's that pointless. In fact, I'm clicking around here and it's gifable. Like you can make an animated GIF of this thing, and people have.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not finding one. Wait. No, I found one here.
Well, don't blink, y'all, because if you blink, it's over.
Yeah. So hopefully this doesn't get us taken down because it's not video.
It's too damn fast. It'll be gone by the time they figure out what's going on. I mean, Jesus. We could play it like 8 times.
Oh, it's going to look like crap. It's so tiny. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Here he goes. Oh, he's gone.
That's
it. Like you said, you timed it out. It's like 3 seconds. The fact that you can make a GIF of an entire lightsaber fight from start to finish. What the fuck?
See, Kale, this is what we're saying. Kale says it doesn't need to be explained this much. It was fine then, it's fine now. No, it's not. Kale, it's 2.4 goddamn seconds. Okay? Any other freaking fight in Star Wars. What
that's
would you
the perfect time for that's what she said.
Yes. Miranda, well played. Any other fight in Star Wars, like we'd heard about how, Anakin becomes a crispy critter when he fights Obi-Wan. If that had lasted 2.4 seconds, what would you have said? You'd have immediately gone, what the fuck? And if someone sat there and tried to do some goddamn, college dissertation on it, but you'd be like, no, that sucks. It's shit. There, see? Yes, Jeff, you're right. 2.4 goddamn seconds that JT will never get back. Yes. It's a horrible payoff. It is a horrible payoff.
All right, I would love to know, though, Skip is another defender of the lightsaber fight, and he says that Sam Witwer has a great description of this fight. And if there's anyone I can endlessly listen to talk about Star Wars, it's Sam Witwer. So, yeah, Skip, if you got a link to that, Put in the
Oh,
chat. I want to know what this is.
It's easy to find. It's all over YouTube. And if I remember right, he kind of calls people idiots for not liking it. And if I was ever like having a beer with this guy and he brought it up, I'd be like, fuck you. Like, call me an idiot. You're the dickhead trying to defend 2.4 fucking seconds. Like, eat my ass. I can barely have a swig of this fucking beer in 2.4 seconds. You know what, Sam? You know what takes longer than 2.4 seconds? Watch. Fuck you, Sam, for thinking it's a good fight. You got up and left. It took you longer than 2.4 seconds to get up and leave. That's how short it is. So fuck you double. Give me this shit.
Wow.
Ugh. Sorry. I hate it. It's so this damn fight encapsulates why Rebels isn't good. No offense to people who like Rebels, but there's so many shitty ideas in that damn show. And I wanted to like it. And like half the episodes are great, and the other half are just like absolute turds. God bless. So, I mean, Sam Witwer, nice. Sam Witwer, he does do an awesome job explaining it. I mean, it's a great explanation. He gets it's fantastic. It's great. I'm sorry if you have to dig that deep into it. It just isn't good. I mean, it's just not. I mean, you can argue that with a bunch of other stuff because like I know Thrasher in the chat, like he hates The Last Jedi. We've done a watch along and we talk about it and everything, but I think this is in a different category. It's not, hey, this is awesome, so let me tell you. Indeed, it's always in defense of. It's like defending why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have to defend it that much, you probably have a problem already. But to be fair, we're talking about how we're so stoked to go see The Phantom Menace next weekend, and that's another one that needed a lot of defense for a while. So just because we don't like it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its defenders, and it might change over time. I don't know. I mean, this one's going to stay frozen in time as far as I'm concerned. I think enough time has passed that our opinion is our opinion, and it's probably not going to change.
Yeah. Skip Runkle says, so what you're saying is you're visual, not intellectual. LOL. No, I mean, Skip, I understand, like, okay, there's an intellectual side to it, whatever, but I think in this case it's bullshit. I think it's just people defending it. I mean, like, listen, and I have a perfect example later on in this article. Okay. It says, Obi Wan shifts to a basic fight stance, essentially a standard ready position of Form 1, also known as Shi Cho. Then he switches again to the same pose as his master Qui-Gon Jinn used to use. In doing so, he baits Maul, who sees a chance for cruel irony and doesn't see the true purpose of the move. Perhaps Obi-Wan is doing this to honor his fallen master, but that's all Maul can see. Obi-Wan does this to trick Maul into performing the exact same move he used to kill Qui-Gon, a blow to the face with the hilt of his I'm trying to read too fast. Obi-Wan does this trick to Maul. God damn it. Obi-Wan does this to trick Maul into performing the exact same move he used to kill Qui-Gon, a blow to the face with the hilt of his saber, followed by a piercing stab through the stomach. Maul shifts his feet to adjust. They both prepare. Then Maul explodes into action. He leaps high, spinning his saber, and prepares to come in with a downward strike. Obi-Wan's ready to intercept. They connect. Maul moves low to strike Obi-Wan's right leg. Again, Obi-Wan parries. Okay, see... Yeah, this is when Maul goes for the hilt smack, only this time Obi-Wan's anticipating it and leans back to cut right through the hilt and along Maul's chest. Obi-Wan is swift, decisive, and precise. No fancy flourishes or sassy zingers, highly strategic and equally effective. Maul then dies in his arms, perhaps relieved his existence is finally over. An absolutely brilliant duel. No, it is not. And, the intellectual side of things, I have a really goddamn hard time believing that a bunch of Star Wars writers sat around the table and went, dude, we should use this Shi Cho style, and then we should have his right leg go back, and then we should have him no. If they did, I would be shocked.
And, that's the sort of stuff. No, that's the sort of stuff that actually does go, I would believe, does go into the creative process. Like the people writing this stuff know it way better than we do. I mean, the way they can throw in Easter eggs and weird references to old things, I'm sure they know their shit. But that's just the stuff that should fuel the story that you write. It shouldn't be the thing that actually makes your writing make sense.
Yes. Well, dude, Chastity, amazing point. Chastity says it should not take 20 times longer to describe the action than the action itself. Thank you. Thank you. It's not satisfying. Again, how can anyone watch that and go, "Oh, that was awesome"? Because by the time it happened literally so fast as I was watching it. I don't know about you, AJ, but I'm sure we probably had the same thing. It was like, here we go. What? That was in real time.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, here we go. Huh? I mean, we talked about it way back in a very old episode of the show with Steve, and we hated it then, and we hate it now. It's like, you got to do more than that. Like, I completely understand the whole psychology of it. It makes total sense. But you have to have them fight for longer than 2.4 seconds. I mean, that's almost laughable. It's not almost laughable. It is laughable. Again, think of any one of your other favorite Star Wars moments, literally any one of them. And if it took 2.4 seconds, wouldn't you be pissed? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm reading an interview with Sam Witwer here talking about it, and I mean, talk about political. This guy knows how to like straddle a line. That's got to be one of the hardest things, actually, because we're sitting here sniping back and forth about how much we hate the scene, and we've got people in the chat, defending it. And so, how, when you're asked about your opinions on how something played out in a Star Wars story, how do you answer it in such a way that you don't, alienate half the fan base? And here's what he had to say about it. So IGN says, why do you think their fight is so brief? Is it that Obi Wan is just at that point so much stronger than Maul that Maul has lost his edge, or is it that Maul doesn't truly want to win, or is it a weird combo of all of that? And Sam Witwer replies, said, there are so many different ways of looking at that. Everything you said is valid. It could all be absolutely true. One thing I think is interesting is the Jedi in the prequels are supposed to be peacekeepers, and certainly they had a very artful way of making war. They had an artful way of defending themselves and inciting violence, really. You find that the Jedi who survived all of that had a much more simpler way of doing things. Obi-Wan, for example, in the bar when Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan pick a fight with Luke, Obi-Wan closes down that fight as fast as it begins. He doesn't do anything flashy. He just dispatches the problem as fast as he possibly can. I think that's what you see here. And it goes on from there. So basically he says like Obi-Wan would have spent a lot more time twirling his lightsaber and being flashy about it like 20 years prior. But at this point, he's like, let's just be efficient about this. I know how to take you down. I'm going to do that with my first strike and not, 20 minutes into the fight. That sounds good. It doesn't shut anybody's opinions down, but I still call bullshit.
Oh, it's 100% crap.
I still call bullshit.
It's 100% crap. Again, 2.4 goddamn seconds. I mean, seriously. If you apply it's Kale. Look, it sucks. Get on board, Kale. It's not a satisfying finish. You are lying if you say it was. You are completely full of crap. I love you, but there's no way that when somebody watched that for the first time, they went, "Oh, that's awesome." Now, buying in later because you don't want to say something is shit in Star Wars, okay, fine. But
it's like tuning into the Daytona 500 and getting an NHRA drag race instead.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I mean, like, what if this had been the Luke and Vader fight at the end of Jedi? Luke just comes in there and one swipe, like, I'm a Jedi like my father before me. You'd be like, what the hell was the point of all that buildup?
Right, like what if they're like on the landing platform on Endor and like, because I actually thought this as a kid when Vader ignites his saber because he turns it over. And I was like, what if he just cuts him down right there? Like, you're not taking my job, son. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, I can't. There's just way too much exposition. I'm gonna Chastity with the comment of the night, man. It should not take 20 times.
I just got to clarify for Kale down under.
I already commented. Yeah, it's a car racing metaphor, Kale.
It's a 500-mile race compared to the quarter-mile race.
Yeah, basically 1 lasts hours, 1 lasts seconds. Okay,
You were going to bring up, yeah.
see, Kale, it says, except he could have easily done that in Jedi, but he was staying in the course of didn't want to fight, not gonna fight. Okay, but that proves my point. Like, what if it was like one swipe? What would you think of that scene? You know how bad people would shit all over that if that would have been the resolution to that whole thing? Like, think about it. I mean, it's terrible. Again, think about all the other awesome moments in Star Wars that you were really looking forward to, like, Sidious versus Yoda. Well, Sidious like force throws Yoda down a shaft and walks away, and that's the whole thing. You're like, seriously, the two most powerful Jedi in the universe, and that's what I get? I get 2.4 seconds? Seriously? That's it? I mean,
Right,
you
like
could apply it to
imagine if when Yoda yeets Palpatine over his own desk, if that was like the end of the fight. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's, oh my God. It's just, I can't get over how terrible it is, and I can't believe people support it. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. God bless you. I just don't get it.
my headcanon says they had this like awesome, elaborate fight choreographed, like all storyboarded out, and then they looked at their animation budget and they're like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
ooh."
It's a total afterthought. I mean, yeah. I mean, you nailed it. Like they said, it was almost like they said, "Oh, Maul's out there. We better do something with this guy."
Yeah,
And then they just threw this
they
in
marched
there.
forward, like they had their whole storyboard. They marched forward to like Disney to like get the budget squared away for the episode. And they're looking at the panels, they're just like, yeah. Like,
Yeah, right.
can you maybe pare that down a little bit?
Horsehead, at least give us 2.5 seconds.
Right.
Yeah. I just, man, again,
That's the thing, like I was trying to find an animated GIF of the entire thing, and I had a hard time because people kept on taking like a segment of that fight and stretching it out to like 5 seconds. I'm like, every GIF I'm finding is slow motion because a full speed GIF is not long enough.
yeah. Look at Miranda. She says there was too much buildup and he was too excited, so only lasted 2.4 seconds. Give him a break. I was actually going to make that joke and reference the fact that, like, build up. Like, my first time, I lasted at least 15 seconds. Okay, so basically, I could have done it 6 effing times.
Oh my
6
God.
effing times. If it was at this, oh yeah, again, there's so many elongated explanations out there for it that I'm like, if you have to go that in depth to try and say why this is such a great, it's no. I mean, we don't go that grand in depth with The Last Jedi, and that's
Yeah, we kind
a
of do.
very no, it's a very divisive movie.
We've
But
done
we
like
don't
3
say,
episodes on that movie.
no, but we say why we like it. We're like, it's cool because I like this scene. I like Fatir's, like, this part's kind of cool. It's not, oh, well, Stanley Kubrick in 1963 did this camera pan, and then they did that in Canto Bight to make it have a little bit more gravitas. Like, no, we're not. No one's doing this, See, Skip Ruckle, and he says, and The Last Jedi sucks. Well, you know what? It's a fuck of a lot better than 2.4 seconds of some dumb duel you were waiting for at least a couple minutes of. Jesus. Look at the Kale. Nerf Herder Council 42424. John gets irrationally pissed off. It's not irrational. It's a stupid, shitty, like, completely, like, dude, it's like going to a restaurant for your favorite meal, and instead they serve you piss. And you're like, what the fuck is that? You get no food, but you get a glass of piss. And it's a teeny little pee-pee glass of piss, too.
That's a piss.
Like,
Oh my God, I can't. I just can't.
that's how much I hate it. I'm not even making much sense. I'm just picturing going to Guarino's for veal parm with a side of Italian sausage, and they're like, here's like a quarter of a glass of warm piss. Enjoy. And there's nothing else in the restaurant for me to eat. I'm like, well, God damn it! I guess I got to choke down a quarter of a glass of warm piss. That's what this stupid fight is. Again, my real time reaction was, oh, here we go, huh? Like, I couldn't even get my reaction out fast enough. It was over that quickly. Like,
By the way, Kale, I love your comment about, NHC Live 24. John gets irrationally pissed off because I literally texted him earlier and I said, I have a feeling our show outline is going to be tossed in favor of a rant.
well, that's why I wanted to do this last. I didn't want to get the show off the rails,
Right?
but I just can't get behind it, and I see people do it all the time, and it's just like, no, it's and again, if people dig it, that's awesome. I'm not saying people that like it are stupid, and I'm not ripping people. I just think the fight itself is absolutely one of the shittiest, dumbest things that they have ever done, and it happens to come in a show where they've done some of the shittiest, dumbest things they've ever done. You know what they should have done. You know what they should have done. Why don't we do this? This is what they should have done. If they really wanted to make this shittier, make it like an eighth of a glass of warm piss. Have this goddamn fight happen on top of a Purgle in the world between worlds. There you go.
Just ride the Lothwolf right into the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And have Geode be the only spectator. Yep. Yep. Even Geode would go, "Oh, I thought it was going to last longer than that." And that's what I picture Geode's voice is, by the way. I do.
Like a sock puppet voice?
Yeah. I'm a sentient rock, guys. I'm going to go hit on chicks because I'm a big rock that gets laid. Like, who brought this goddamn rock on board? What is this? Like, Skip Ruckle. The Last Jedi has the opposite problem with the OJ chase in the middle of the movie. What, the characters survive?
Ooh.
That was an OJ being dead joke. I'm allowed to do that because he was a piece of trash and took 2 lives like a worthless bastard. Okay. I mean, Skip. Yeah, it happens pretty quickly. The movie is not without its faults. Believe me. I just happen to love it because it does some interesting things. It opens up some new storytelling, new storytelling opportunities, and it was cool. Oh, look at this. New Joe, Discuss Metal Joe. New show idea. JT writes fan fiction that must include all of the characters he doesn't like. Oh boy, that would be. I could do that.
I mean, it's like a city council meeting. It's seconded. So,
yeah,
Chastity's got his back.
That would be interesting. Purgle, Geode, the Maul, Obi Wan fight, the World Between Worlds. Carrie Poppins would have to be in there because I hate that idea. What else? What else? I would use like pointless characters like Claude.
Oh,
like that was just like what the hell is that thing?
Like, how the hell do you have a ship's engineer with no arms?
Right. Which is
at least Geode, you're like, okay, he's got the Force. He'll levitate his lightsaber, through the Force. But you got to be able to hold a wrench if you're going to fix a ship.
You know what would be a better duel than the Obi Wan Maul fight? A Claude versus Geode slobber knocker. 2 dumb assholes with no arms just running into each other. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I could use the Force. I could. No. But Claude has to have the awesome French accent. No, I'll take you down. Stupid rock.
Can we just feel like a 24-minute animated episode of just like a rock and Claude just sitting there, and the only animation is like the stars twinkling or like leaves falling or something.
Them bumping
like no
into
one
each other.
moves.
They just tilt forward and bounce off each other and go back to like the ready position. It's just them bouncing off each other. This is not working at all. Claude's got to have the French accent, and then you've got Geode who talks like this. I really thought I could kick your ass. We did not think about this at all. We have no arms. We are fucked. This is a stalemate. That would be better. Claude versus Geode would be a better duel than Maul versus Obi-Wan. It really would be. Discuss Metal Joe, another shirt idea. I'm sensing a new shirt idea with speech bubbles. Oh my god. That's my fan fiction. I'm gonna write that duel.
There you go. Done. That's our May the 4th special right there.
There you go. There we go. And then I'm gonna use all that special. I'm gonna look up all these like ancient samurai things, and it's gonna be only like foot spins and shit. Like they basically just spin around each other and do that because they can't really do anything else. Like Claude gets the upper hand because he spits on him. Because at least Claude's got a mouth.
I feel like Geode would just like throw himself at his opponent.
See, I was thinking about that too. Like, just fall on him. Like, what do you need the force for?
Mhm.
You weigh a couple tons, for fuck's sake. Just fall over on him. Like, what it's, what the hell?
Trap
So-
him in like a ravine or a crevasse or something. Be like, thanks, cousin.
He talks to other rocks. That's the next story. Geode and his rock buddies. It'd be like the most slow-moving, boring-ass thing ever. The camera never moves. Geode's just like dragging his ass. He's like, he's like, what was that? What was that like the plates, the tectonic plates or whatever, like moving,
Right?
or like a friggin' glacier and shit. It's all that happens in the show.
Oh my god! All
All
right,
right.
dude. I
Well-
think we pissed away enough time for tonight, right?
Yes, I would say so. All right, so I have to write the Geode Claude duel,
Mm-hmm.
and
That must happen. That absolutely must happen. I do want to say, the idea of a watch along is intriguing, and I do like it. Apparently,
Yes.
John has no interest in Tales of the Empire. I do. If you recall, we did watch alongs when Steve was on the show for Visions. I'm all down for a watch party for Tales of the Empire. It just can't be on May the 4th. So reach out to us, hit us up on our socials, and we will plan that. Make sure that happens. No problem whatsoever.
I'm down for other watch-alongs. Like movies or something like that. Thrasher and I have done The Last Jedi, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll get that stuff going. Maybe that could be like a Patreon thing or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. I like watch-alongs because it's kind of like, we're doing this, but as the movie's going. So it's a total blast, man. It's a total blast. So we'll definitely do that. AJ will get to work on the Claude versus Geode Nerf Herder Council shirt with word bubbles. So you could make it like a boxing match. You did have it like the old school like boxing match look, and have it like Claude versus Geode. What did they used to say in WWF? The irresistible, immovable object versus the irresistible force, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Just say that, and and the opening bout, they could have like a undercard, and the undercard will be Maul versus Obi Wan.
Perfect. I love it.
But
I love it. Okay.
Won't we get a copyright strike because if you use like the actual character names?
Well, yeah, we'll have to be clever about it. But hey, I mean, the NHC family roster shirt is still up at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. So apparently, if we're clever enough about it, the lawyers won't find us.
I still got to get that shirt, man. Oh my god, it's so good. Itchy, rashy, lumpy, and discharge. Crappy. Oh my god, that is so great. Oh, rashy, discharge, and crappy. Oh, this is the dumbest show ever. Oh my god,
It's fantastic.
All right, well, guys, thank you very much for sticking around for all of this goofy bullshit. It's been a longer show than usual, but hey, hopefully you guys got a good laugh out of it, and hopefully I didn't offend anybody. That was not my intention. But yeah, we are going to be right back here in 2 weeks. It will be Wednesday night. Let's see, 9th. It'll be Wednesday, May 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we've got all kinds of fun stuff coming up. We've got some show ideas in the works, so we will let you know what we're doing closer to that date as we agree on what we're doing. But guys, as always, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you're watching on our YouTube channel or the YouTube channel of the Virtual Cantina Network, don't forget to click that like button and click that subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you are notified every time we go live. If you would like to get customizable Nerf Herder console swag, kind of like AJ's Chewbacca's family shirt that he's wearing, go to shop.nerfherderconsole.com. There's some great stuff there. And if you would like to get Virtual Cantina Network swag, just go to tpublic.com/user/virtual-cantina. Before we get out of here, AJ, why don't you tell everybody about our Patreon page?
Yeah, if you just go to patreon.com/NHC podcast, that is the way to get early audio access to our episodes. Just $1 a month will get you that. If you want to be super special and nice to us, then for whole $3 a month, $3 whole dollars, you get a shout out on the show, like our buddies Joe and Mark Thrasher, who chimed in tonight. So thank you guys so much for showing up. We do have other things in the works, commentaries, watch alongs, like we said, things like that. Anything that you guys actually want for a perk, chime in, let us know. We're willing to do a whole bunch, but we're thinking we're never going to go over $5 a month unless it's something like super awesome as a perk. So even if we do get like super bougie about this, it's going to be $5 whole dollars. It's not a big deal. But you can always keep a tab on our Patreon, because even if you are not paying us anything at all, that is where we're going to post any show updates as they happen, new shirt drops, things like that. So be sure to bookmark that. And that is where most of the news about the show will come out. And also, a new thing that we just tried this one last time, but we will try more in the future, are YouTube shorts. So make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube, because a lot of times what we're going to use that for is for gathering your opinions between episodes. So we have something to start with, so we can bring up your opinions just to kick off the topic when we begin our show the next time we're on the air.
Beautiful. Well, guys, again, I'm your host, JT. He is AJ. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. Again, we will be right back here at all these fine locations on Wednesday, May 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until then, again, I am JT at Dog Pound Jedi. He is AJ
at Drake Adams 579, and may the 4th be with you.
Catch you guys later.